Huang, also known as Mimi, has arrived. She is a Fortitude boat character who can function as a ranged tank that shields allies while pumping out some big damage to boot. Her kit is very straightforward, and she has several synergies with older characters, even Crow. Let's take a look at how she works, and then analyze the value of her advancements and matrices. Let's start out with Mimi's weapon passive. Unlike other V3 Plus weapons, which each function as a sort of passive damage, Mimi's weapon passive only works when she is on field, dealing additional damage up to once every 1.5 seconds. Like other similar passives, it scales with all your stats, increased by 30% when using another non-altered elemental weapon, but it doesn't get modified by any buffs other than normal attack damage on Titan stats. It contributes roughly 2% of the total damage in a proper team comp. Mimi has another passive. When triggering a Fantasia on Mimi, or when triggering a weapon swap Fantasia to or from Mimi, you will deal 5000% damage to nearby enemies. While this sounds like a lot, it also isn't affected by any multipliers, so in reality, it's only a very small bonus. Mimi's trait increases final damage by 18%. When using 3-volt weapons, this is increased to 24%, and crit rate boosts are extended by 25 seconds. This works on Fenrir's A6, making it last for 30 seconds, as well as the crit rate portion of Krall's A5 100% crit buff, making it last 29 seconds. Though, as cool as 100% crit sounds, depending on your current crit rate, it's actually not too much of a gain, unless you optimize your gear by getting attack rolls over crit rolls. But then again, it's still a bit scuffed because, Crow in 2023. We'll dive deeper into the numbers on that later. Now, let's take a look at what she actually does on field. Her basic attacks generate stacks of Qinwan's Might with every 3 hits, giving damage reduction for Fortitude Resonance, stacking up to 8 times, and doing nothing by itself otherwise. Instead, these stacks are used for her skill. Her skill deals a large amount of damage and summons a cloud, which strikes down lightning every second, consuming a stack of Qinwan's Might to do so for a maximum of 8 strikes, before dealing another burst of damage as it explodes. The skill can store up to 2 charges, allowing you to hold the cooldown for burst windows. Note that using 2 charges at the same time will each consume Qinwan's Might stacks independently, so you'll need to be attacking after using charges to generate stacks as to not miss out on damage. When using 3-volt weapons, this skill additionally inflicts a dot effect for 30 seconds that does not stack with itself. Mimi has a number of auto attack chains, but the only important one is the hold attack. This has the highest DPS, grants you hyper body and freedom of movement as you hold it, and generates a shield that stacks up to a total of 15% HP or 30% for Fortitude. Additionally, on Fortitude Resonance, this hold skill will also taunt enemies for 2 seconds as it hits, while also giving teammates a shield equal to 10% of your max HP. Finally, Mimi's dodge can be useful for sucking enemies together, though the damage isn't very significant. That's pretty much everything important about Mimi's kit. She's an extremely linear character who is only active on field. Let's see what her advancements bring to the table. Sorry, is that heartbeat sound getting a little annoying? I get it. It's important to not be starving. That's why this video is sponsored by Tokyo Treat and Sakurako. Tokyo Treat is a monthly subscription box that delivers a selection of trendy Japanese snacks every month. This month's theme is Moon Festival, and there are a lot of tasty things in there like daikon chips, choco balls, and chestnut Kit Kats. I go to Asian markets regularly, and I'm not familiar with most of the stuff here because most of it is only found in Japan. They include a colorful booklet that explains all the snacks to you so you can indulge in the culture and know what you're actually eating. There's also Sakurako, which offers a more traditional selection, and the snacks this time are just adorable. I really liked the white chocolate strawberries this time around. Oh, and you also get a cute little Moon Festival themed dish. If you want to get some snacks for yourself and support the channel, do use my links in the description and use code Maygi to get $5 off. Anyway, back to the video. Let's take a look at the relative value of Mimi's advancements in 3 different teams. A Fiona and Rubilia comp, a triple vote comp with Rubilia and Fenrir, and a rainbow comp with Zeke and Fiona. Mimi's A1 increases her hold attack damage by 30% and causes it to heal summons as well. This damage multiplier is the same as Quant and Shiro Matrix, making it a bit weaker than it seems in practice. The healing effect makes it so you no longer have to rely on Rubilia's feedback and A5 to heal her thorns, but remember, you still need to use feedback to proc her A1. Additionally, using both skills will grant stacks of Chinlon's Might, and Mimi's skill will grant 3 stacks, which is nice for ease of use but doesn't exactly increase DPS. Overall, this advancement is worth a fair amount in all teams, though it has less value in the triple vote team due to a good portion of the damage coming from Rubilia and Fenrir. Note that these teams and values are assuming A6 of other characters, so if you don't have Rubilia A5, this advancement is worth even more. Her A3 reduces all vote skill cooldowns by 20% and increases vote damage by 15% in the background. Because Mimi's skill damage is quite substantial, this boosts the damage of all the comps by a sizable amount. Mimi's A5 allows you to withstand 1 lethal blow a minute, while adding a bonus effect to Fortitude Resonance that adds a little bit of a pull effect to her discharge, while also allowing you to create a wall with her hold attack, where enemies and the projectiles cannot pass. As this advancement is only for utility, it has no effect on damage. Finally, her A6 grants 10% bolt damage and 10% final damage for 30 seconds after using her skill. This has generic value and adds a decent amount to all teams. Overall, Mimi's advancement value is quite significant. A1 is definitely worth picking up, especially if you don't have Rubilia A5, with A3 and A6 being large bonuses on top of that. A5 only offers marginal utility and is not mandatory to play Fortitude by any means, so it should not be prioritized. How do her advancements compare to her matrices? Let's take a look in the next section. Mimi's 2-piece matrix increases final damage with bonus skill damage when you use Mimi's hold attack, working in the offhand. Her 4-piece effect increases all elemental damage when you have at least one Volt weapon equipped, with bonus critical damage after using Mimi's skill or Discharge, also working in the offhand. To compare the strength with other matrices, I'll be using the Rubilia Fiona comp as a base. Numbers may vary between different comps. For example, Rubilia's matrix has more value in the triple Volt comp due to the extra thorn benefiting from Fenrir A3, so make sure to keep a note of this. Mimi's matrix is comparable in strength to that of Rubilia's, though it offers a much more generic value in raw buffs, while Rubilia's extra thorn is passive damage that may not be fully realized against mobs that move around. Fiona's matrix is still powerful as always, and all other options beyond that are fairly weak in comparison. That being said, a standard main DPS set on Mimi still does better than other limited sets until said limited sets get 3-star. TLDR summary. If you already have 2 sets of background matrices, including a 3-star Scylla or Hobo set, it'll be more worth it to grab A6 before even thinking about matrices, as upgrading a 3-star Scylla or Hobo set to 0-star Mimi is not actually too much of an upgrade. This concludes part 1 of Mimi's analysis. I'll see you guys shortly for part 2, where we look into rotations, team building, and theoretical damage comparisons between all the comps at varying investment levels. Bye bye!